Overcoming procrastination for good. You've got a big task ahead of you, maybe even something that could change your life. You've thought about it, planned for it, and even set a deadline. But instead of diving in, you're scrolling through social media, watching random videos, or doing anything but what you know you should be doing. Sound familiar? This is the cycle of procrastination, and if you've ever struggled with it, you know how frustrating it can be. Procrastination isn't just about laziness, it's about avoiding discomfort, fear of failure, and sometimes even the overwhelming nature of a task. But here's the thing, procrastination can be overcome, and today we're going to talk about exactly how to do it for good. Procrastination is something almost everyone faces at some point in their lives. Whether it's a project at work, a fitness goal, or even a simple household chore, putting things off can create a lot of stress. You know you should start, you even want to start, but you don't. Instead, you find yourself doing other tasks that aren't as important or even enjoyable. You might tell yourself, I'll do it tomorrow, or I work better under pressure, but deep down, you know the real reason you're not getting started. You're avoiding the discomfort that comes with the task. Whether it's the fear of failure, perfectionism, or just feeling overwhelmed by the sheer size of the job, procrastination always finds a way to creep in. So, why does this happen? Why is it so hard to push past that initial barrier and take action? The truth is that procrastination is a habit of delaying, avoiding, and making excuses, and like any habit, it can be changed with the right strategies and mindset. Procrastination is more complex than just laziness or poor time management. It's deeply tied to your psychological state and your brain's need for instant gratification. When you have a task ahead of you, your brain instinctively feels a sense of discomfort or stress. Instead of confronting that feeling, you escape by engaging in something easier and more pleasurable, like watching TV or checking your phone. What's really happening is that your brain is avoiding negative emotions tied to the task, whether it's fear, anxiety, or even boredom. This avoidance feels good in the moment, but over time, it creates stress, guilt, and a sense of being stuck. It's a cycle. Avoidance feels good now, but it only leads to more frustration later. Understanding why procrastination happens is the first step toward overcoming it. Once you realize that it's a natural response to negative emotions, you can start to work with it instead of against it. Here's something that might surprise you. Procrastination doesn't save time. In fact, it wastes it. The longer you put something off, the more mental energy you drain by thinking about it, feeling guilty, and stressing over the looming deadline. Instead of getting it done and moving on, procrastination keeps the task in your mind, creating an ongoing mental load that can weigh you down. Procrastination also affects your productivity. When you avoid a task, you lose valuable time that could have been used to make progress toward your goals. The longer you procrastinate, the bigger the task feels, leading to even more resistance to starting. This can lead to a vicious cycle where you feel like you're always behind, never quite catching up, and ultimately missing out on the opportunities that discipline and action can bring. While procrastination can feel like just a time management issue, it often stems from deeper fears and mindset problems. Two common causes of procrastination are fear of failure and perfectionism. Fear of failure. You might avoid starting a project because you're afraid it won't go well. This fear can be paralyzing. It's easier to not try at all than to risk failing, but this keeps you stuck in place, never allowing yourself to experience growth. Perfectionism. The desire to do everything perfectly can lead to procrastination as well. When you feel like you have to do something flawlessly, the pressure can stop you from even starting. Perfectionism often leads to analysis paralysis, where you overthink every detail and never actually take action. Both of these issues keep you from moving forward. But the good news is that both fear and perfectionism can be managed by shifting your mindset and taking action in small, manageable steps. Here's the shift that will change everything. Stop waiting for the perfect moment to start. You don't need to have everything figured out, and you don't need everything to be perfect. The truth is that the best way to overcome procrastination is to simply start, even if it's not perfect. Perfection is the enemy of progress. You need to embrace the fact that action, even imperfect action, is always better than no action at all. Start with small, manageable steps. Just make a decision to get started, and the momentum will carry you forward. Now that we've explored why we procrastinate, the fear behind it, and the cost of delaying tasks, let's dive into practical strategies to overcome procrastination for good. In the next part, we'll go over specific steps you can take today to break the procrastination cycle and build lasting habits that help you stay on track. Part 2. Overcoming procrastination for good. One of the most effective ways to overcome procrastination is to break down large tasks into smaller, manageable chunks. Often, we procrastinate because a task feels too overwhelming or too big to handle. We look at the end goal, a finished project, a completed assignment, or a goal we want to achieve, and it feels like an impossible mountain to climb. Instead of focusing on the end result, focus on the first step. If you have a project, start by breaking it down into smaller tasks that are easy to start. For example, instead of write a 10-page report, break it it down into small actions such as research, gather your sources, outline, create a rough outline of your report, write a draft, start with just one page, or even a paragraph, edit, review, and polish your work. By breaking the task into smaller, more manageable steps, you eliminate the feeling of overwhelm and make the process less intimidating. You'll also feel more motivated because you're continuously making progress, no matter how small. Momentum builds when you accomplish one small task after another. Another powerful technique to overcome procrastination is the 5-minute rule. This rule is simple. When you feel the urge to procrastinate, tell yourself that you only have to commit to the task for 5 minutes. It might sound like a small time frame, but the idea behind it is powerful. Once you start working for 5 minutes, you're more likely to continue. Starting is the hardest part. Once you break the barrier and begin, your brain gets into work mode, and it becomes easier to keep going. Often, procrastination stems from the anxiety of getting started. By committing to just 5 minutes, you make the task seem much less daunting. Let's say you're avoiding a workout. Instead of thinking about the full hour of exercise, tell yourself, I'll just do 5 minutes. You might surprise yourself often. Once you're into it, you'll keep going well beyond the 5-minute mark. The key is to start, and the momentum will take care of the rest. Distractions are one of the main reasons we procrastinate. Whether it's your phone, social media, emails, or even noisy surroundings, distractions pull us away from the tasks that need our attention. If you want to build unbreakable self-discipline, you must create an environment that supports focus and eliminates distractions. Start by identifying what distracts you the most. Is it your phone, social media, a cluttered workspace? Once you know your distractions, take steps to minimize or eliminate them. Here are a few tips. Turn off phone notifications. When you're working, silence your phone or put it in another room. This reduces the temptation to check your notifications every few minutes. Use productivity apps. There are several apps designed to help you stay focused by blocking distracting websites or apps during work hours. Consider using apps like Forest, Focus at Will, or Freedom to stay focused. Create a dedicated workspace. Whether you're working from home or in an office, make sure you have a space that's dedicated to productivity. This helps signal to your brain that it's time to focus. By eliminating distractions, you create an environment that's conducive to deep work. The fewer distractions you have, the easier it becomes to stay disciplined and focused on the task at hand. To build self-discipline and overcome procrastination, you need to celebrate your progress. It's easy to get discouraged when you focus only on the end result, but achieving a big goal often requires sustained effort over time, and small wins along the way should be celebrated. Rewards are a great way to reinforce the habits you're trying to build. Let's say you've been procrastinating on a work project, but today you made progress. Instead of simply moving on to the next task, reward yourself for completing that task, whether it's taking a short break, having a treat, or doing something you enjoy. The key is to acknowledge your efforts and give yourself positive reinforcement for your hard work. Rewarding yourself also creates a cycle of positive feedback. The more you reward yourself for completing tasks, the more motivated you'll feel to continue working. Rewards don't have to be huge. It could be as simple as watching an episode of your favorite show after completing a task, or going for a walk after finishing a project. Sometimes, the reason you procrastinate is because your environment doesn't support your goals. If you're surrounded by clutter, noise, or distractions, it's much harder to focus. One of the easiest ways to overcome procrastination is to change your environment to better suit your goals. If you're working from home, clean and organize your workspace to make it more inviting. Can also mean adjusting your routine. If you've been procrastinating on a project, change where and when you work on it. Work in a new location, or choose a time of day when you're naturally more alert and productive. Experimenting with different environments can help you find the one that works best for you. Procrastination isn't just about laziness or poor time management. It's also deeply emotional. Many times, we procrastinate because we feel anxious, overwhelmed, or afraid of the task at hand. When we avoid tasks, we avoid these uncomfortable feelings. However, avoiding tasks only amplifies the negative emotions associated with them. To combat procrastination, you need to understand the emotions tied to it. Is there something you're afraid of, like failing or making a mistake? Are you worried about not being perfect? Identifying the root cause of your procrastination is the first step to overcoming it. Once you acknowledge the emotions, break the cycle of avoidance. Take small actions that reduce the discomfort. For example, if you're afraid of failing at a project, remind yourself that making mistakes is part of the process. If you feel overwhelmed by the size of the task, break it down into smaller, less intimidating pieces. By addressing the emotional side of procrastination, you begin to build emotional resilience and develop a healthier relationship with your work. Visualization is a powerful tool to combat procrastination. It involves mentally picturing the outcome of completing a task and imagining the positive feelings that will come with it. When you visualize your success, you build motivation and focus. It's like giving yourself a mental preview of the reward. Before you start a task, take a few moments to close your eyes and visualize yourself completing it. Imagine the sense of accomplishment you'll feel once the task is done, and picture the benefits that will follow, whether it's the satisfaction of checking it off your list or the positive impact on your goals. This technique helps to create a strong emotional connection to the task, which makes it easier to push through procrastination. The more vividly you can picture the positive outcome, the more likely you are to start the task and finish it. One of the most powerful ways to break free from procrastination is to connect deeply with your why. The emotion behind your goal is often the key to overcoming procrastination and staying on track. We are often our own worst critics. When we procrastinate, it's easy to start beating ourselves up. You might think, "I'm lazy, I'll never get this done," or "Why can't I just be more disciplined?" However, being hard on yourself only increases feelings of guilt, shame, and stress, which fuels procrastination. Instead of judging yourself, practice self-compassion. Acknowledge that everyone struggles with procrastination from time to time, and that it's a normal part of the human experience. Instead of dwelling on past failures, focus on what you can do next. Ask yourself, what's one small thing I can do today to move forward? And how can I be kind to myself in this moment? Self-compassion helps you move forward without the weight of self-criticism holding you back. It allows you to keep trying without feeling discouraged, and it helps you develop resilience. Overcoming procrastination isn't about perfection, it's about progress, and you'll make more progress when you treat yourself with kindness. One of the best ways to stay consistent and fight procrastination is to build accountability. It's easy to let things slide when no one is watching or when the pressure is off. But when you know that someone is expecting an update from you, it's much harder to procrastinate. There are several ways to create accountability in your life. Tell someone about your goal. Share it with a friend, family member, or colleague who will check in on your progress regularly. Join a community. Whether it's an online group, a class, or a local club, being part of a community can keep you on track. Hire a coach. If you're serious about a particular goal, consider hiring a mentor or coach who can help keep you accountable and give you feedback. When you make a commitment to someone else, the stakes feel higher, and it can be just the push you need to get things done. Accountability makes procrastination less of an option because you don't want to let down the people who are counting on you. Procrastination is often rooted in the future. We think about how big the task is, how far away the deadline is, or how much work we have to do. This can overwhelm us, making it feel impossible to get started. The secret to overcoming procrastination is to focus on the present moment, not the big picture. Instead of thinking about the entire task or the final deadline, break your work into smaller, bite-sized actions that can be done right now. Focus on the next 5 minutes. What's one small action you can take immediately? For example, if you're putting off a writing task, don't think about writing an entire paper. Just think, I'll write the introduction in the next 5 minutes. Focusing on a small, immediate action makes it easier to get started and creates momentum. As you build this momentum, the task will feel less daunting and easier to manage. Motivation is a fleeting feeling, and if you wait for it to strike before you start working, you'll be waiting forever. Don't rely on motivation to get things done. Instead, start doing the work even when you don't feel like it, and motivation will follow. Think of self-discipline as a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. The more you act, the more motivated you'll feel. But you have to take the first step. Start without waiting for the perfect moment. As you progress, you'll find that motivation comes naturally because you're building momentum and seeing results. Now that you know the strategies to overcome procrastination for good, it's time to put them into practice. Start small today. Use the 5-minute rule. Break your tasks into manageable chunks and keep yourself accountable. But don't stop there. Take action now. Let us know in the comments, what's one thing you're going to do today to overcome procrastination and build unbreakable self-discipline? I'd love to hear your thoughts and progress. And don't forget to subscribe because we'll be sharing more strategies on how to unlock your full potential. Take that first step today. Your future self will thank you.